Hi guys, Mark Domina here, and I want to talk to you about weeds that are creeping into your lawn now that we're in the heat of summer, and it's not crabgrass. I think it's even worse than crabgrass. Let's take a look. Many of us are getting onto summer activities and not really paying that close of attention to the lawn. As long as it's green, we think it's okay. But at the same time, there are some weeds like crabgrass that are creeping in, but nutsedge is the real one we want to pay attention to because it can do much more damage than crabgrass, and it's perennial and going to come back year after year. Let's take a look and see what exactly it looks like.
So at first glance, the grass is looking pretty green and decent for an area that's not irrigated. But as I start looking out farther, I can see areas of lime green, what looks like regular grass, but it's standing up a little bit taller and growing a little bit faster than everything else. As we start getting closer to it, you can see it is a little different than the regular grass. This is called nutsedge. You know it's a sedge because if you grab the stem and kind of roll it in your fingers, it's triangular. These get pretty aggressive root systems, and a lot of people will try pulling them out, but they get little nutlets down at the bottom, like little bulbs, like little baby onions. But this has already been treated once, and it's been creeping for the last 2 or 3 seasons. And you can see it goes the whole length. This garden here was ripped out and had to be left vacant for 2 seasons while we tried to eradicate it. The reason for this problem is the fact that this weed doesn't start growing till the heat starts kicking in. It gets into a flower bed, this is what it can do. It just takes over an entire bed and it just keeps growing, and even though this has been treated once or twice, it's still, to eradicate it, it's still trying to hold on. So you have to treat it multiple times in order to eradicate it, especially like this morning glory weed. But in this area here, you can't grow anything. I'm not a big fan of chemicals, but this is one time you need the chemicals in order to eradicate it. I've never seen any successful natural treatment.
Okay, so as with a lot of chemicals and a lot of treatments, you need to make sure you're using the right product for the right solution. And so nutsedge is a real pain in the neck. And like I said, for even those of us who are on automatic lawn treatments and somebody's coming out and treating the lawn on a regular basis, the problem is this weed always slips through the cracks, because by the time May, June comes around and you're doing your last round of applications, typically until fall, then nutsedge doesn't even start growing until the heat really starts kicking in. And it always slips through the cracks because the fact that it just, if it's not emerged and growing when you're applying a chemical, you're not going to do anything. It's not going to control it. Plus, most conventional lawn herbicides don't control sedges. It's a very specific weed that needs very specific treatment. So you have to use a product that says nutsedge killer or sedge killer. Typically, you can get them in hose-on attachments or little spray bottles. I recommend you keep a bottle of it on hand. It's just the biggest challenge is just like if crabgrass is flaring up right now, you need to pay attention to the weather. If the ground is dry or we're above 80 degrees, you shouldn't be applying anything to your lawn. It's going semi-dormant. So even though the weeds are growing like mad, you gotta let them go. So if you've got a bad area like I've showed you in the front, that area, we just got a passing heavy downpours yesterday. We set a garden hose on it. I wanna make sure that grass is good and got a good drink. It's not thirsty. If we're 80 degrees and you've got a stiff breeze, even though certain chemicals are rated to apply to your lawn, if that ground is dry, that grass, when you spray the chemical on it, can suck up too much of the chemical because it's just so thirsty, it sucks it all up. So even though it's normally safe to use on the grass, it can still fry a lawn. So if you're getting crabgrass or you're getting nutsedge in the middle of summertime, wait till a heavy soaking rain like yesterday from thunderstorms, maybe put a garden hose on it to really make sure that grass has gotten a little drink, and then get out there first thing in the morning while it's still overcast and cool, and then apply the chemicals. Most of the time, that is all it takes to be able to make sure that you're not going to do more damage to your grass. But if you let these weeds go crazy, by September, when we really stop paying attention to our lawns again, you're just riddled with weeds, and they've really started choking out your grass and done damage to the lawn. If you get the weeds while they're small, you can use a small amount of chemical in the right application and avoid a problem to your lawn. Hope that helps.